it's been a bit of a while since we spoke. You've been on holiday. Have you enjoyed your holiday?
Um, it wasn't exactly a holiday. It was more of a working break to um, to deal with what we've got up and coming. Really, we're in the middle of a we're in the middle of that phone's going off, which is the story of my life. No, but we're really in a crucial sort of moment in the club's development, and I needed to be able to concentrate and be able to deal with everything. You know, we're dealing with councils, we're dealing with builds, we're dealing with planning applications. And if we're going to get ready for next season, you know, I have to start all that in the next 5 weeks. So, you know, the deadlines are tight.
And you've mentioned the planning and the buildings. Can you elaborate on what some of those plans are for this summer?
Yeah, it's a broadcast compound, TV compound. It's a new entrance road into the facility. It's a widened width road to stop the bottlenecking down at the bottom of the ramp, which will assist the residents. It's a fan zone. It's a new set of turnstile blocks. It's new connections and drainage and all the unsexy stuff which possibly should have been done 50 years ago, 40 years ago in terms of the whole. It's a brand new car park. It's a brand new drainage system. It's new BT works. It's dealing with wires and sending them underground and really getting us ready for the next stage, hopefully, of our football development. But all that's very costly, and it takes years and years of planning.
And we spoke before about the stadium itself and getting expanded on that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any works planned for the stadium itself and the structures?
What, this summer?
This summer.
There's some improvements at the North Bank end which we need to do. There's a little bit of subsidence which I'm not happy with. So there's a bit of that, but nothing really major for me. There's more work in the East End, but that's really left over from last year's refurb. Now the main crux of the work, it's about what I'm about to spend is probably going to be in the region of about 1.2 million initially, and that will rise by the time I've finished all the areas to about 1.8 to 2 million. But I've only got a small window. So it's going to have to be done in a phase 1 and a phase 2 situation. So yeah, I'm up against it with deadlines. We've got a preferred contractor to choose from. We're getting last minute updates on prices. I've got to make sure my partners like Arsenal and the Arsenal Borough Council, Elstree Town Council are happy. I've got to make sure that we can do our best to facilitate the whole club, because all these type of things mean you have to shut down your hire facilities, your function suites. There'll be issues with the Astro hire and all the summer stuff that you normally do, and I need to get the place ready because we've got the pre-season then will be upon us. We've got the Brentfords and the Chelseas and the Arsenals coming. I haven't got the official dates yet, but I know the first 3 home games are Brentford, Chelsea and Arsenal. So yeah, so there's a lot of pressure.
And those games, are they happening slightly earlier than normal because of the Premier League season being slightly earlier?
No, there's it'll be the July pre-seasons as per normal. I'll tie them in with season tickets and do what I can for the supporters. So there's a lot of stuff I'm sure the supporters will want to know about shortly. Again, I've pretty much got agreement now with Grant Morris, and he should be able to go and announce what the plans we've got. But I think that all the supporters should be happy. There's a budget plan and a price plan that should suit every budget. And it will probably make us the cheapest across the board, probably within the National League. But obviously it needs to be supported. So again, I think I'm going to ask him to just go and dip his toe in the water with the supporters, see if they're happy, and then from there we'll launch it, you know, again, my plans are obviously to look forward and not look back, you know, the job is to be able to challenge and compete at this level year in, year out, and all these things help.
And you mentioned about the cheapest in the division. Is that season tickets only, or is that just tickets as well?
No, it's season tickets. You know, there's payment plans, there's different ways that you can do it. Again, if you want to do, you know, you want to do sort of 10 payments and do it each month on a direct debit, then you're going to pay a little bit more than you are if you're going to go in with a one-up or one-off payment, etc. So we try to work out what's best for people, and each group of people can choose which way they want to work it. But it's about choice. I'm trying to be flexible. You know, some people might want things to suit themselves because it better suits their budget and their payment plans. So just that, really.
And a lot of the talks about the future and next season. This season we've been on a slight dull since we last spoke. We've not won in 8. What have you made of the first team's performances as of late?
Well, we haven't delivered. We took the plaudits when we did deliver. You know, listen, you know, we're one of half a dozen clubs in the history of football in this country that's gone to the 5th round. Well, when I say clubs, non-league clubs, have gone to the 5th round of the FA Cup. So we all know what it felt like to beat St Albans and beat Wimbledon, and, you know, deal with Eastleigh. And, you know, the greatest night of my life was what we did down at Bournemouth. You know, we've gone and played in front of 39,000 at Goodison. But that's done. And that's where, you know, you bank that, it goes into the memory banks, it'll stay with us forever. But our ambition coming into the season was to make the playoffs, and we're right in it. So we've had a blip. You know, nothing's over. You know what I've always said. Always expect, you know, or, you know, you always get in football what you least expect. So, you know, I wasn't expecting us to pick up 2, 3, 4 points in the last 8 games. I don't think anyone was. But that's what happens in football. But don't be surprised if we go and beat Aldershot tomorrow. Beat Dover, and, you know, suddenly we're heading to Wealdstone on Bank Holiday Monday, and suddenly the world feels a little bit different. It's a 5-week sprint now to the line. We know what we've got to do. We know what our squad is. Some people haven't performed in the last month or so. Some have been injured. Some have dealt with COVID. Some have dealt with niggles. Some have dealt with all manner of stuff. But we'll be all right. If someone had told me at the start of the season, you know, we'd be sitting in 8th, 2 games in hand against a few of our rivals. We'd been to the last 16 of the FA Cup, and we're about to embark on the biggest build that the club's ever been through in 5 weeks' time. And I could deliver all that as a chairman to this community. I'd have snapped your hand off. So I can't be downhearted. I can say that just because we understand we are realistic and what we've done with our crowds, that doesn't mean we're not ambitious. So does it hurt? Of course it hurts. Ask every supporter on a Saturday night. You know, I mean, Woking came here, thoroughly deserved to beat us. Chesterfield came here. You know, they got the most outrageous penalty, but we nicked a 1-1 draw. And you saw people thought, you know, Grimsby was maybe not a great result, the 0-0, but you know, they're one of our rivals, and a week later they go to Chesterfield and spank them 4-1, and you realise they're a good side. But you know, we're a few points behind. We've got a few games in hand. We're going to Aldershot tomorrow, and we need to go and get a win. There's no pressure on us other than what we put on ourselves, and we know what we've got to do. You know, we've had belief in each other from the moment the season started, and there's no need for me to doubt that, not with this group.
So we've had a poor run of form, but you're not calling for Garrard out anytime soon.
No. Well, Garrod out. No, to be fair. I mean, as you know, I mean, again with Luke, we've discussed his future. You're going to do that. We've had 4 or 5 clubs come in and make inquiries for him, and he's made it clear he doesn't want to go anywhere at this point. He's happy. We'll be announcing, when it's the right time, we'll announce some news on Luke's future. But it's all positive. The supporters know how I work. I deal with the business quietly. They know about it when we put new contracts on the table and with what we're doing. We know what we've got to do. We know we've got to improve the squad ready for next season. We went in for players, you could imagine, before transfer deadline day and all those bits and pieces. We lost out to Chesterfield. We were very interested in Tom Whelan. But again, we couldn't compete with Chesterfield on that one. We was very interested with Bruno Andrade, but Steve Evans has gone in at Stevenage. And so that one didn't materialise. And there's 1 or 2 others, but at the end of the day, we've got what we've got. We're very happy with the group as a whole. And so no, Gerhard's not going anywhere. And Boomerang Gerhard. I mean, if I told him he had to go, he'd only come back anyway. So no, I'm very happy with him, and hopefully he's happy with the club.
And in that summer spending window, if you could have any players to your choosing, who's the top of the shopping list? Who are you wanting to try and sign this summer?
Well, that's not my job. That's Luke's job. It's my job to pay the bills. It's my job to create a budget and a structure for Luke, Charlie, and the first team to prosper, for the supporters to feel like they've got a voice, to feel like we're progressing. And wait till you see what we're going to build this summer. It's a fantastic achievement for the club. It's going to work for our partners. It's going to be great for the broadcasters, whether that's BT Sport and the National League, or whether it's the WSL and BBC and Sky. Again, the fan zone's going to create a new buzz, new turnstile blocks and everything else. So I've got to balance it. I've never been a chairman that says, there's $1 million, throw it at the first team. But Luke will have a competitive budget. I'll be spending a lot of money in the summer on the infrastructure again, but we're getting ready for what we hoped will happen to us over the next few years. And again, targets, etc. No doubt he'll come up with a list, him and Charlie. They'll work on what they need or what they feel they need, and no doubt they'll be trying to pick my pocket, I would think, from now until pre-season starts.
And a lot of the talk that we've had now is about the buildings and the first team, but it's a whole club. We've got the academies and the schooling and everything. Have you got any updates on any news and any upcoming things with the Pace Academy or any of the schools?
Well, we're in negotiations with various people in terms of education partners and how we feel we might want to go. Recruitment's gone really, really well. I think by the time we finish, we've got 2 more. Obviously, the trials now are spread over a few days because of a pandemic. We're still aware that we work in Boreham Wood's best interests, and so that safety is paramount. We don't tend to work in the world of maybe Britain at the moment with no masks and no tests and a free-for-all. So we had to work that, but by the time we finish next week, we'd have had over 500 trialists for the 2 blocks of trials. Again, it's phenomenal, the amount of kids that want to come here. We've got to make sure our structures are right for them. So if that was your son, that it is the right place for your boy to be educated, And it's all the other things that go with it. It's people are educated properly, the coaching is of a level, the medical staff are in place, the transport's right, you know, everything from leagues and fees and kits and all the things that go with it. Again, you'll see a lot of these schemes, they're trying to nick a few bob off of students. We don't do that. At the end of the day, they'll come here, there'll be a free training kit, you know, but they've got to do their work. They've got to come in, they've got to buy into, you know, a sports education program that will deliver for them. But that's only as good a program as what the student wants it to be or the scholar wants it to be. If you put half-hearted effort into anything, you'll get a half-hearted response. So no, we're very pleased with that, but there will probably be some education announcements in the next sort of month or so.
And another side of the club is the community. Nathan and his community department are doing lots of different initiatives at the moment, with the Easter egg hunt on week Saturday, all these different things. How happy are you with the links to the community now?
The Easter egg hunt would be, I take it, on Good Friday, will it?
The Friday.
Friday,
Not
yeah,
Saturday,
yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. It's, again, we've had a cup one as well. Again, I'm a great believer in employing local people and investing in all things local. So that's just another building block. Again, there'll be schools and initiatives. There'll be season ticket initiatives. There'll be all manner of bits and pieces. But that's a slow burner. Again, you know, we've already just had the schools tournaments, which, you know, has gone down well. So all them things are just balanced, and it's all about creating a more well-rounded club. But you have to serve the community, and again, if people buy into that, which they've been doing, and you know that by the size of the crowds and all that's picked up, then again we're going to be able to do more for people, because I've never seen so many youngsters in Boreham with kits, and it's heartwarming really. So I'm really pleased.
And looking ahead to the end of this season, you mentioned the playoffs was the aim at the beginning of the season. If you can put aims now until the end of the year, what are those realistic aims? Playoffs are realistic. We're right in it. Don't worry about a few results. If you get punched on the chin, get up, wipe your mouth, and get back on get on with it. So we've had a few bad results, you know. We can beat Aldershot tomorrow. It won't feel so bad. We can beat Dover on Good Friday. The place will feel okay. We'll be going to Wealdstone, you know, right in it. If we don't win football matches, then your playoff dreams, they end quickly. But you know, we're in April. We've got a 5-week sprint to the line. There'll be loads of the supporters who've written us off. You know, they wrote us off a million times. You know, they wrote us off when we was in the Conference South. They wrote me off when we was in the Ryman Prem. They wrote me off when we was in the Southern Eastern Division. Yeah, you know, if I throw the towel in every time we have a bad spell, then, you know, I might as well go and be the chairman of the club up the road, you know. You know, talk's a good game, but it doesn't go anywhere. You know, look where we've come from. Look what we're trying to get to. We got 10 games left? Is it 10? 11, is it? Okay, so, yeah, it's a sprint to the line now. You know, it's not going to be painful. It's going to be a realistic 5-week sprint to the line. I mean, looking, you know, when you look at some of the games tomorrow, I think Dagenham have got to go with Bromley. I think they're in 9th and 10th. We're sitting in 8th. So nothing's beyond us. And hope springs eternal. I mean, as I said, you know, if you put this in front of me the week before the season started, you know, that we'd knock Wimbledon out, we'd bash up the local rival St Albans 4-0. We'd be live on the telly 2 or 3 times. We'd go to Bournemouth, who are going to go to the Premiership now and knock a Championship side out. Go to Goodison Park, sit 8th in the league, games in hand, and we've got 5-week sprint to the playoffs. Whether we get there or not,
who wouldn't? Who wouldn't in our community, in our town, and our fan base, and everything? Who wouldn't have took it? Every one of us would have took it. So, okay, events haven't gone our way for the last month. That's okay. That's okay. We'll deal with that. And I promise you, we'll be fighting still. In those last 2 or 3 weeks, we'll still be in it. And hopefully we can pull that off. But it's not the end of the world if we don't, you know. There's only 2 can go up, and if you're taking it that Stockport have already done that, and everybody's already put Wrexham's name on winning the playoffs, which is, you know, football don't work like that. You know, Notts County will have a say in it, Grimsby may have a say in it, hopefully Boreham will have a say in it. You know, no one's going to want us if we get to the playoffs, trust me. And we're just the sort of club might sneak in 6th or 7th, and we know what we're doing. If we're heading up the motorway, you know, and we've got to go and be resolute and be an underdog club to go and nick a 1-0 win, you know, and progress. It's right up our street, and no one will want to play us.
That's about all the questions I have. Anything else you wanted to speak about?
No, not really. Hopefully, you know, the supporters have been happy with the season today. I'd like to thank them. I mean, the support's growing week by week. You know, let's go and finish it off. I think we've got 4 home games left, is it? We've got Dover, Bromley, Wrexham and Solihull. So, you know, let's go and do what we need to do. You know, turn up at Aldershot tomorrow and let's see if 3 points can put everyone in a more positive frame of mind.